Hello everyone, Chris here. There is a few words that will send shivers down any Dead by Daylight player's spines. One of those words is solo queue. A while back ago, I made a video where I gave some tips on how to make solo queue a better experience for yourself. If you haven't checked that one out, then I do advise to do so. It might be helpful. Now, after I made that video, things have changed as Dead by Daylight is like an ever-changing organism. Since last time, we have been introduced to the Survivor's HUD, and some new perks have come along as well. Now, the question is, have this changed solo queue for the better? Have it changed anything at all? And how can we make sure that playing in a solo queue is both fun and engaging? Let's find out and head right into the video. Now, naturally, I can only speak for myself and my own experiences playing solo queue. Now, 99% of my Survivor playtime is playing solo queue, so I'm confident I have a pretty good perception of how it is to play it, for the most part. Now, for the big question, has the Survivor Activity HUD made any changes to the solo queue experience? In my opinion, absolutely yes. I think it has had a significant change to how it is to play in solo queue, and that is due to a few reasons. Maybe the most significant one for me is the ability to see if a survivor is being chased or not. When I'm in a match, let's say we're up against a stealth killer. As long as I see on the Survivor Activity HUD that another survivor is being chased, and I don't hear any tear radius, I know for 100% certainty that I am safe to do my gen in peace. And that, to me, feels pretty damn good. It makes the whole experience a lot less stressful, especially against stealth killers, as mentioned. It can also help you in situations where a survivor is on death hook and you see them being chased by the killer, giving you a chance to find them and take the heat. But I wouldn't really hold my breath for that to happen in every solo queue match. But for me, I would do that if I knew it could potentially change the outcome of the game. Another thing is to know the gen progression of other gens than the one that you are doing, and this could also be useful if you're using adrenaline, for example, or if you see a gen is close to being done and you get ready near an exit gate. It's also somewhat easier to coordinate unhookings when people don't have kindred, as you can see who's not doing anything on the Survivor Activity HUD, meaning they most likely are going for the save. Or, in some cases, not. There is no guarantees in solo queue. There are also some instances where a killer have nowed, and you can see on the Survivor Activity HUD that they are cleansing a totem, which hopefully is the nowed, of course. But all in all, it's a massive change to the Survivor experience in my opinion, as it gives you a lot of valuable information throughout the entire match. Knowing what the survivors do or don't do, which we will come back to, is a great convenience and really helpful when you have no ways of communicating with each other. For me, I feel I escape a lot more often now than before. If it's due to the Survivor's Activity HUD, just the luck of the teammates I'm giving, or any of the hundreds other factors it could be, is impossible to say, but the HUD plays a part in it, that I'm certain of. So, does this mean solo queue is fixed? Well, fuck no. We still have some issues that are pretty significant. Number 1. Having the Survivor HUD is amazing for knowing what the other survivors are doing. On the other side, it is equally amazing how frustrating it is when you see you have teammates that are doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes they can even be so useless that even the killer notices it and will purposely go for them or want your help to hunt them down and kill them. To those killers, thank you. But yeah, some survivors will only be in it for themselves. Some survivors are just new, and some just don't care, but at least now you know, instead of being frustrated about why no gens are being done like previously. Number 2. Pre-genning. Me personally swear to Deja Vu. I think it's a really good perk and extremely valuable in a solo queue. It will prevent you from tree-genning yourself and can even contribute to you ending up with the last few gens being as far away from each other as possible, which is extremely valuable in the endgame. But if you are the only one bringing Deja Vu, and the other survivors are just doing the closest gens to themselves at all times, you know you now and then end up with a 3-gen, which is just absolutely horrible. I have to say, this doesn't happen as often as it used to, but still happens way too often. And it doesn't matter how well you play till that point, a 3-gen against certain killers is a guaranteed loss. So yeah, this is still a bit of a bummer when playing solo queue. Number 3. Tunneling and camping is still prominent, and even the Survivor activity HUD might help a little bit with knowing a Survivor is being tunneled. At the end of the day, it's not much you can do against a killer who is obsessed by one Survivor. Now, what I do believe is the biggest reason many people find solo queue to be horrible, boring, or frustrating is the Survivor players themselves. Killers tunneling and camping is nothing compared to the frustration of having teammates that screws over their entire team by throwing the game, DCing, or killing themselves on hook. And that is for me the biggest noticeable difference between a fun and boring solo queue match. Now, I do understand that some people would prefer to kill themselves on hook rather than being camped or tunnel. I get that, but there are so many matches where that isn't even a reality and people will still throw the match. The fun matches are the one where every survivor is actually trying their best. I'm not saying the survivors needs to be good, they just need to try and play the game properly. The biggest reason solo queue is difficult is due to the amount of survivors throwing games, DCing or killing themselves on hook. But at least the DCing will be fixed when we get the replacement boss for that. I am curious though, what do you experience the most? Killers tunneling and camping, or survivors throwing the games? Let me know in the comments below. So, to summarize my last few months as a solo queue survivor, I've been having a lot of fun. I feel like the survivors are a lot more coordinated and prone to work together now that they can see more of what's happening in the match. I've had so many games lately where a survivor gets hooked in the end game and the entire team goes all in on getting that survivor out of the gates with us. And those moments where you play solo queue and the three of you manage to coordinate a safe unhook rescue and get everyone out, that feels so fucking satisfying. And that's the thing with solo queue. When you play well together with your team, it feels so freaking good. And I love those moments. Those games where you feel like everyone is there to play together. Now, this is not something you should expect, of course, as people play the game however they like. But when they play like this, it's amazing. And that's the kind of message I'm hoping to get out there. When survivors are actually working together, even in a solo queue, which is sort of the whole point of playing a 4 versus 1 asymmetric game, Dead by Daylight is extremely fun. Yes, I said it. Playing solo queue in Dead by Daylight can be extremely fun, if the survivors are actually working together. Who would have guessed? As I've mentioned, no, you should never have any expectations towards other players and expect them to do the things that you would have done, but you can at least hope that they want to play as a teammate and work together to escape the trial. Now, I am curious to how your solo queue experience have been though, as I'm sure you have a different experience than mine. Feel free to tell me your experience in the comments below. Now, for the question of the video, has solo queue become better? I would say yes. Yes, it have. The incredible useful information you're getting fed throughout a match now feels really good. Especially instances where you see other players are being chased, so you know you are, for the moment, safe. And more changes are coming as well to make it even better, like the DC bots and the anti-camping changes. So it will be exciting to see how that turns out as well. But that's it for now. I'm going to do a new experience with playing a whole night of solo queue to gather some more stats like I previously did in this video, but I will be back with the results from that later. Until next time, take care everyone, bye bye.